What's up, Bramblers? Your favorite CEO is back. And before we begin today's podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode. And follow Assistance HQ and Offsource HQ across all platforms to stay up to date on the latest content, updates, and more. And remember, if you need a virtual assistant, visit us at offsource.tech. Now, before we begin, a word from our sponsor. Hey guys, welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Little Ramblings. I'm your host, Angelo Roberts, and I have with us today Phong Vo of Phong Vo Media. He actually just launched. He's the brand new CEO of the company. Tell us a little bit about the launch. Introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And thank you, Angelo, for having me on. My name is Phong. I'm Phong Vo with a PH. And just a little bit about me. I ran a painting business in college. In college, I was going to school full time. I was working part time as a janitor at my college. And then I was also running an exterior house painting business. So I did that for about 3 years, literally was grinding 120 hours a week. But at its peak, I had about 16 painters and 7 managers on my team. So it was a pretty successful sort of business. And then after graduation, I worked at a startup accelerator. And for those of you who are not familiar with what those are, it's a company that just basically works with other startup companies to help them achieve a few years of growth within a few months. And so we did that through sales teams, marketing teams, venture capital investors that would invest hundreds and thousands of dollars into these companies. And so a little over 2.5 years ago, that's when I bumped into a startup called Happy Neighborhood Project. And so I decided to join the team full time because I felt like I could make some sort of impact. And during COVID, it was the best year for us. We went from, we launched one weekly networking event to now over 74 weekly events in 7 countries and 34 states. And so last month, July 13th, 2021, if you're listening to this in the future, I launched Phong Vo Media. It happened to be also on my birthday. Had a fantastic virtual grand opening. I was expecting only 75 people, but 128 people came on to support me. So I was just so grateful, so shocked that many people would come out there to support me. And so, what Phong Vo Media is, it's a B2B social media management company. And so we manage, B2B companies' social media pages, but we also create 100% original content, and we engage to thousands of their prospects on social media. And so, for example, if one of their prospects makes a post and they take a family picture of them at Disneyland, we'll actually engage with them. We'll say, hey, what a beautiful family photo. What are you enjoying most about your vacation? Right. And so that way you build that dialogue with them in that relationship.
Wow. So you've been doing a lot the past couple of years and definitely getting in early with the college. So you said you were in painting. Now, me being in painting, I wouldn't say I was in painting. So my parents, not my parents, my dad, he was a real estate owner. And I did a lot of the apartment prep flipping. So I went in and did the apartment renovation, clearing out all the trash, getting the walls painted, getting everything done, getting it sold, boom, 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 boom. How do you think that labor, because at that point, that's like a manual labor kind of business. You're really doing a service, but now you've transitioned to office and everything, right? I always wanted to be office. Would you consider yourself someone who's more office or someone who really enjoys working with their hands?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say both. So what I mean by that is, before the College Works experience, I was more of the office type person. I saw myself in a nice little office, ivory tower, and I saw myself thinking and leading from my office. That's kind of how I envisioned myself. But then after, working in this company, this painting business, I just learned how to get my hands dirty. I was literally out there at the job site, and I was by my, with my painters, and we were literally painting houses, getting paint all over us. I remember scrubbing paint off my hands for 20 minutes every single day, being out there in 100-degree weather, sweating.
Oh yeah, because you're in California.
Oh yeah. So I remember one time we had to wear this a suit because, the house was before a certain date. I believe it was 1978. And so there could be lead paint, and it's illegal to scrape off paint if there's lead in it. So we had to suit up in these hazmat suits, like you see in the with the EPA or OSHA. And we were like scraping this paint in 100 and I think it was 103-degree weather. And by the time we were done, we were sweating from our head to our feet. Like we were literally taking steps, and you could see the sweat marks from our shoes. And so I share that because that taught me how to get my hands dirty. That taught me how to really be in the trenches with my painters. And so now in my business career, or my new business, if I need to get my hands dirty, I will. And especially when you're starting off, you need to get your hands dirty.
I definitely agree. So I want to switch the conversation a little bit, move into a lot more into marketing, right? So I think we have a slightly similar approach when it comes to marketing. We're both about long form pieces of content with shorter clips. Very big on having I would call it, I guess, just the Gary Vee method. I don't know what else to call it other than the Gary Vee method, right? You've been following him for about 5 years. I'm 2.5. So you're double there, right? How has that played into you wanting to do a media company? Because I think, as he says, kind of sometimes, every company, no matter what kind of company you are, is like a media company. And I kind of believe that. And I've started something on the side, which is a little bit different. But why media? And what is your take on how you take in marketing? What is your take on how you perform marketing?
Yeah. So my thoughts on this is, yes, I do use the Gary Vee method, the Gary Vaynerchuk method. For those of you who aren't familiar with him, he's a serial entrepreneur. I mean, he has 20 plus businesses. This guy is a mogul, and he has millions of followers on social media. And one of the things that I've learned from him is that for your business, you got to think of yourself as a media company first. And what that means is that you got to be putting out unlimited pieces of content on social media, so that way your prospects can learn about you. Because 5 to 10 years from now, what's going to happen is everything in the middle is going to get commoditized. So for example, right now, everybody's aware of Alexa and Google, right?
Right.
And whenever we're looking up a business, we go on Google, we type it in the search bar, and there's dozens of different pages of results of the business you're searching for, right? Now, 5 to 10 years from now, we're all going to say, hey, Alexa, find me a virtual outsourcing company, find me a media company. And there's only going to be one result. And so how do you compete with all these giant companies that will be fighting for that first result? You can't, especially if you're a small business. And so you got to build your brand. You got to make sure that when they talk to Google, they say, hey, Google, find me Offsource. Hey, Google, find me Phong Vo Media. They got to say your name first before they look up any other service. And that really comes through brand. That really comes through putting out content. So that way people get to know you. So that's how I think about marketing. I think of it as, long-term, something so crucial that every business needs to have. It's really going to come down to two things. How good is your product? And then also, how good is your brand? And everything else would not really matter.
I slightly disagree with them. I was all the way there, and then you said nothing else matters. I personally think that something that's just as equal as marketing is the actual product or service, the actual product or service itself. I think that no matter how much marketing you do, no matter how much branding there is, no matter how much of a moat you can create, you have to have a good product. You have to have a good service, right? And I think that marketing can amplify having a bad service. You feel me? In terms of if you are putting out bad work and all of this marketing effort that you're putting in, I think that it backfires because now people associate this particular marketing, no matter how good the actual marketing is, with a crappy company behind it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's why I said that there's only two things that are going to matter: the product and the marketing. right? So how good is your product? That's number one. Number two is how good is your marketing? And so we definitely agree that you have to have a good product, because if you have a bad product and you're marketing it, you're basically accelerating how many people know about your crappy product, right? So yeah, we're definitely on the same page. You got to have those two in line for the future.
So what kind of metrics are you using? I see that you have, it says growth guide behind, but for tracking with Phong Vo, like what kind of metrics are you guys focusing on right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Number one is reach. How many views are the posts getting? I think that's one of, kind of, that's like top of the funnel brand awareness, right? How many people are seeing your stuff? That's number one. Number two is how many clicks. How many people actually click on your post? How many people actually click to your social media profile? How many people click to your website?
I don't mean to interrupt, but I've been seeing that. How do you have so much engagement? Like you have like a moderate kind of following thing, but your engagement seems to be pretty on point.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, one of the things that I do is I have my guys. I have friends that are coworkers and friends that are close to me, that I tell them, hey, I have a post coming up. Would you be able to engage and leave a thoughtful comment? And so what that does is it shows
you ask people to go leave a comment?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
and I don't do that for everybody. I do it to my close sort of pod, right? They know that I'm going to be posting content, and I do the same for them. And so what I do is I tell them, hey, would you mind leaving a comment? Hey, post is up, please engage. And then it starts the chain, right? And people are more likely to comment on something that has already been commented on. Nobody wants to really be first, or most people don't want to be first. And so it gets the conversation started, and then other people will then be able to jump in. And so that's my sort of little hack for engaging, increasing your engagement, is get the chain started.
I don't want to say any exposure is exposure, and I don't want to think of it as like a negative kind of thing. I just feel that it should. I don't want to say it should be more organic. To ask someone to go like the post, I just feel is not like it's like an actual engagement. How does it not throw off like any of your numbers? Like, okay, so like based on the engagement, you have to like then factor in how many people like you ask to then like it, which doesn't necessarily count as them enjoying or like liking the creative. I think that's like, I feel like that's a false measurement on the creative.
So that's yes and no. So for example, I asked 3 people. And so I know that it's not going to be anything more than 3 because I only asked 3.
Okay.
And so if I get 25 likes, I just subtract the 3 from it. I really got 22. That's how I look at it.
Well, how do you know if it's good enough to have like that first person comment? Like, if you don't have like the first person comment, how do you know that the creative is engaging enough to get that ball rolling? Like, well,
it's simple. It's through like the other likes. And so let's say I make a post, right? Mm-hmm. And I have 3 people, the 3 buddies like it and commenting on it. And then I get 0 likes. Then I know it's a crappy post. But
you already like gave it like that 3 like boost algorithm.
Right. And if, remember, going back to the crappy product, right? If it is a crappy video and I market it, it's just going to accelerate the amount of people thinking it's a crappy product. And so if it's good, it's going to pop. And a lot of them do, right? They go from 3 likes from my buddies to 25 to 30. And so that's how I kind of see it. If nobody likes it, then it's going to get this, it's going to stay at the 3 and all of them are from my buddies.
So how much do you focus, I guess, on like post-production? Like, do you do like a lot of like post-production, like kind of like fancy equipment?
No, not at all. Actually, it's very, this mic that I'm using is like $40 on Amazon. I'm just using the camera from my laptop. I don't think the post-production is too important. You do want to cut out some sound and stuff, like background noise, and make it sound a little bit more crisp. But really, it's your message. What kind of message do you have? Is it going to add value to the audience? And if yes, then it will pop. people are going to watch it.
I've been talking with some because I am, as we said, we both are kind of like Gary Vee fans in that sense of like how we operate. So I am definitely about the quality producing the quantity. But one of the things is I've been talking around with and just like asking consumer basis. Now this could be different for like B2B, right? So me being B2B, you being like being B2B essentially. It's a little bit different when talking with business owners, right? But when speaking with like other consumers, so like if you were say like a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, someone like a DTC person kind of thing or anything like that, one of the things I've been seeing is they really harp on like the quality of like the video. And I've been trying to like find around, like ask around how much does like video quality mean to like the person? And a lot of people are saying that they like to see like high quality video. I don't necessarily say I put out high quality video at all, but it's definitely caused me to change like how I do some of these things here and everything. What's your take on how people are doing like the quality of like videos? So like I can't make a quality TikTok for crap, but people make great TikToks, and so they go. But I don't think that making a low quality, like making a great message quality TikTok with a low production quality is as good either. We're like as a professional marketer, do you see like where there's like a balance?
Yeah, I see it more as a balance and not the extreme, right? So some people like low quality. Some people like the more authentic shooting from my iPhone, I'm out in the street sort of feel, right? It's more authentic to that person, speaks to that person. Some people prefer more of the high quality production. And so it really depends on the individual person. For me, right now, my goal is just to move fast and put out as much content as possible, right? I don't think about the post production as much. I do a few things, increase the volume, make it sound a little bit more clear, more crisp, cut out the background noise, but it's very minimal. What I'm working more on is how do I add more content? How do I add more value? How do I post? I'm posting 1 time a day right now. How do I post 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a day on
Are you
social
using a
media to reach
scheduler
more
or
people?
like are you manually doing it?
Yeah, I'm using a scheduler. Yeah,
What are you using specifically?
I'm using Sprout Social.
I don't like Sprout.
Why
I don't
why
like
is that?
okay, so preface, I don't like a lot of social media managers lately because they're not posting directly to LinkedIn's
Yep.
like personal profiles. And I don't know
Yeah.
why. Now, I've been using lately Social Pilot because I love like their platform and their like ability to like contextualize. I've checked out Loomly, but what I like about Social Pilot is that they allow for the Instagram posting kind of. If you have the app, what happens is they allow for you to, it gives you like a reminder and then allows you to post, automatically puts the picture on your phone, copies the text so you can do like a quick copy and paste kind of thing.
Mhm.
I have not found the but like, okay, do you know anything about like the coding back in like the API accesses or anything?
No, I'm not a coder at all. I have
I
very
don't know
little
any coding.
knowledge.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about coding, but my question was, I guess, going to be like, I am trying to find out, is it like a general thing on like Instagram's end and like the social media's end that they're not allowing you to post? Or is it like on the end of the developer and the like in the social media third party not just making an API access? Because like we can directly post to LinkedIn pages, but I can't directly post to my LinkedIn profile.
Hmm. Oh, I think I understand what you're saying. Are you saying can you post through Sprout Social to your profile
Yeah, like the actual profile.
and not page?
Yeah. Like I mean you
Yeah,
can post a page, but you post on Sprout to the actual
like
regular Phong
profile.
Vo profile.
Yes. So that's actually one of the things I wanted um, in a social media manager. I looked around a lot. I spent a lot of time on this, and I found a few that allow you to post directly to your profile and not page. And so that was one of the requirements that I had. Um, deciding which manager to go with, they had to allow me to post to my profile, because you're going to get a lot more organic views from posting into your profile versus page.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. Because I definitely want it. Like you said, I definitely get more engagement on my actual page than the
Profile.
on my profile than my actual like business page. But I'm trying I'm trying to funnel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But before we have to actually get you out of here and everything, I would love for an opportunity for you to just promote Phong Vo, and where can we find you?
Yeah, of course. So where you can find me, directly on my website, so fongvomedia.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn under Phong Vo. Just type in Phong Vo and then media, and you'll probably find me. I'm also on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. Same thing, Phong Vo. Remember, it's with a PH, PHONG, and then V as in Victor, O. Also Instagram, just find me.
Hey Ramblers, that's it. Podcast is over. Don't leave yet though. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast, and follow us on YouTube at OffSource HQ. We'll see you next time.